Dolphins fans, welcome in to this edition of the Dolphins Today Mailbag. I am Will Scott answering your questions here on Dolphins Live. Appreciate you all watching. Obviously, a lot to discuss. I'm sure some of y'all are going to have questions about Tua Tagovailoa. I do want to make note that the last mailbag we had that went out the other day, that was obviously filmed before the Tua concussion news. This obviously being filmed after we know that he's in the concussion protocol again. Timothy Vanderford has been the MVP so far during our live show. $20 super chat. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, Timothy. Give me your honest opinion on Teddy Bridgewater, and how do you feel about the team as a whole in the playoffs? Been a diehard Miami fan all my life. Go Fins. I have confidence in Teddy. I think he can get the job done. I mean, keep in mind, when they signed Teddy Bridgewater, a lot of people were like, man, that's going to be the best backup quarterback in the league. He had some success as the starting quarterback in Denver last season. Had Denver in the playoff conversation until week 17. So he's a solid backup quarterback. Now, I get it. He hasn't looked great when he's come into games this year for the Dolphins, but at the same time, he hasn't had first-team reps, and that makes a really big difference. The 1 week that he didn't come in, and he had first-team reps when he started that Jets game, he was removed after one play by the ATC spotter. And this is a huge game for the Dolphins, obviously, Timothy. You mentioned the playoffs and my confidence level in this team. Stephen A. Smith said last week, this is obviously before the Packers lost, after the Bills lost, saying that the Dolphins can beat anybody. And I still believe that. I would obviously prefer not to play Buffalo or Kansas City in the wild card round, but if the Dolphins are healthy, if they get Tua Tagovailoa back for that game, I do believe the Dolphins could shock a lot of people and win in Buffalo or win in Kansas City. They almost did that less than 2 weeks ago, winning in Buffalo. Billy Fins, what's up, man? Good to see you again. Is it time to move on from Tua? He's too fragile. Hashtag Dolphins. Now, obviously, Tua has had injury issues since his senior season at Alabama. He's missed a lot of time, and this is now his second confirmed concussion of the year. No, though, I don't think it's time to move on from Tua. I still think he's your franchise quarterback. I don't think you should go out and get a starting quarterback this offseason to replace Tua. I think you just need to get Tua a really good backup, and here are some options. Now, everybody on this list, besides Derek Carr, is a free agent. Now, Carr was benched by the Raiders. He's not expected to be back. I do believe he's going to go somewhere and be a starter. I believe he's still good enough to be a starter in this league. So maybe the Jets or the Colts for Derek Carr. But everyone else, a free agent, most of those guys are going to be backup quarterbacks. So let's say Teddy Bridgewater balls out in the final 2 games of the regular season. Maybe you bring him back to be the backup quarterback. Taylor Heineke, we've seen him win some games in Washington. He's probably not going to get a starting job next season, though. He might be a good backup to go ahead and sign. I would love bringing Baker Mayfield in, albeit I do believe that he's going to have a starting job somewhere next season. Perhaps Tampa Bay, Mike White, Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sam Darnold, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush went, 4-1, Jeremy? Is the Cowboys starting quarterback this year? There are some good options available in free agency. Do not move on from Tua. Just have a really solid backup. Keep in mind, you have not won without Tua Tagovailoa this season. But look at what the Niners have done. They're on their third-string quarterback, and they're still a Super Bowl contender. Who do you want to sign as the backup quarterback for 2023? Go down in the comments section. Let me know some really good options that we just showed you. I would say Gardner Minshew. He might get some starting interest, though, to be a starting quarterback in the league. But if he's still a backup, I would love to bring Minshew Mania to Miami. I think it'd be a good fit. Aris Daney, what's up? Appreciate you watching the show. Will, if you had to say a number from 1 to 10 on how confident you are Tua will play versus the Jets, what would that number be? Whew, that's a good question. I mean, I'm not in the building, man. It's hard to speculate on that. I would say a 6. Obviously, the concussion protocol can vary with each player. We have not seen Ethan Carter since his concussion early in the season. So it can vary. As I said earlier, I think the best case scenario here for the Dolphins is to win this week and then the Jets lose. You've got a playoff spot secure. Even if Tua clears protocol, you can rest him in Week 18, have him 100% for the playoffs. But if the Dolphins either lose this week or if the Jets win this week, I think Tua, if he's okay, obviously we need to be thinking about Tua the person, not Tua the player. He needs to get back fully healthy before he steps foot on a football field again. But if he clears protocol, if he feels comfortable playing, if the medical team has cleared him, then I would feel pretty confident about him playing against the Jets. But again, the protocol can vary with each player. Winland Witt, watch from the Philippines. We appreciate you watching. What is your top five? Who are your top five quarterbacks in the draft? That is a great question, Winland. I would not be shocked if the Dolphins drafted a quarterback, let's say maybe third or fourth round. I don't think they would do it with their first pick that's in the second round. Bryce Young is my clear number one. The upside with Bryce Young, I get it. The size is a concern, but the guy just has the it factor. He's a gamer. He's won at Bama. Bryce Young is number one for me. C.J. Stroud, I think he's a great talent. I mean, obviously the whole Ohio State quarterback thing kind of bothers me a little bit. They've had some problems in the NFL, these Ohio State guys, but he's still number two for me. It's a pretty big drop-off after that. Will Levis, I was really high on him coming into this season. He kind of underachieved, but he's probably still top five for me. I would not say Anthony Richardson is top five, but he's, a guy that the Dolphins might look at, especially being an in-state guy. Who else? Grayson McCall's coming back to school. He's transferring. I already mentioned him. Sam Hartman's coming back to school. Some guys I were expecting in the draft. Oh, yeah. Jaron Hall. Tanner McKee from Stanford. I think he has some potential as well. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hendon Hooker, for me, is probably the third best quarterback in this class, and because of his age and because of the injury towards ACL, he's a guy that might fall to the fourth round. Maybe the Dolphins can get him. Guys, you can bet on the Fins this weekend at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125 to pick up a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put $100 in, you're going to start with $225 in your account. Great deal. Go and take advantage. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. That is the link. That is the promo code. The Fins this weekend are the underdog against the Patriots. So go and bet on the Fins. That line keeps going up. I believe the Patriots are a 3-point favorite right now. I feel confident about the Fins covering the spread and winning this game. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Dolphins125. Dustin Case, what's up? Is Kader Kohou going to be CB1 next year? That's a good question. I don't think, well, it depends how you define CB1. If you're defining CB1 as the best corner on the team, this year he has been that. But if you're defining CB1 as who's going to go up against the Stephon Diggs, the Devontae Adams, then that's still going to be X. X just has a pedigree in this league. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's just going to get those matchups. But Kader Kohou this year has been the best corner on the Dolphins in terms of stats, in terms of grade, in terms of just passing the eye test. Kader Kohou has been fantastic. The UDFA out of Texas A&M Commerce, and with the injuries to Byron Jones and Nick Needham, can you imagine where this defense would be without Kader Kohou? I don't even want to think about that. Can Kader Kohou be a top corner in the NFL? Y for yes, in for no, down in the comment section. Go down, let me know. I do believe he can be a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback in this league. Timothy Vanderford, another super chat. We appreciate it. Super chat to get on the show. Who do you think we need to sign in the offseason? As I mentioned earlier, I think you got to go out and sign a solid backup quarterback, someone that can come in and win you games even if Tua misses time. Let's say a Gardner Minshew or Mike White or maybe even a Sam Darnold. And then I think you need a running back. I think you need to establish the run game here in the offseason. Go ahead and get a Josh Jacobs. I don't think Saquon's super realistic, but Josh Jacobs, I think, wants to be a Dolphin. He spends a lot of time in Miami. I think that's a great fit. And then maybe go out and get a corner. I don't think Byron Jones is going to be back next season. Eddie, what's up? Lamar Jackson to Miami. How can we make this happen? Eddie, I hate to burst your bubble. This is just not going to happen because Lamar Jackson is not going to become a free agent. Baltimore is not going to let that happen. He's going to get franchise tagged, and he's going to get traded for a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson type of package. And those packages obviously have not worked out very well for either team. But he's gonna take 3 first-round picks to get a guy like Lamar Jackson. I don't know if he's gonna be back in Baltimore. I actually think it's a decent chance he gets traded, but it's not going to be to Miami. The Dolphins came into this season with 2 first-round picks. They don't have any first-round picks right now. They do not have the assets to trade for Lamar Jackson. Dolphin WB, if Tua is rusty, who do you think, if Tua is rusty, do you think we are first-round exits? Oh, of course. I mean, in all likelihood, Dolphin WB, you're going to have to get you're going to get the 7 seed if you get in. So you're going to have to go to Baltimore, or excuse me, you have to go to Buffalo or Kansas City. You need Tua to have like the game of his life to win in that environment in January. So, no, he cannot be rusty. Daryl, what's up? Trade Tua to the Colts. I think Tua is going to be the guy next year. I think he should be the guy. Keep in mind that we were talking about last week, just a week ago, that he was one of the biggest Pro Bowl snubs of all time. He's the first alternate. He's probably going to be a Pro Bowler. So giving up on Tua, I just don't think is right. I just think you got to get a good backup quarterback in there. Yeah, he choked against the Packers, but he was playing with a concussion, which would explain how bad those interceptions were. So get Tua healthy. You know, there's some retirement talk with Tua. That's ultimately going to be his decision and nobody else's decision. If the Dolphins were to trade him, that would come after you were to maybe sign a quarterback like Derek Carr or Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is more likely than Derek Carr, and then you maybe trade Tua. But I don't want that to happen. Westie, do you think we should draft defense or draft a running back? I mean, it depends who's on the board, Wes. I mean, if you got a guy like Sean Tucker available in the second round, then you draft a running back 100%, or a Blake Corb, you draft a running back. But if those guys are off the board, then maybe you draft defense. But running back needs to be prioritized in this draft. Kylie Creed, can the Dolphins go on a Super Bowl run without Tua? No. I love Teddy. I think Teddy's a great guy, and he has a lot of experience. But this is not going to be a Nick Foles type of run. I'm just going to be realistic with you. I know a lot of people have been saying that, but they need Tua back to make a Super Bowl run. I do believe that. If Teddy balls out the next 2 games, though, and looks like he was looking in Minnesota earlier in his career, then maybe I'll change my tone on that. But I have confidence in Teddy to get the Dolphins the playoffs. I don't know if I have confidence in this team without Tua to go very far. How far can Miami go without Tua? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. A lot of good questions we're getting today, Jeremy Chucks. And our next one is from Luke Mantonen. How about facing the Chiefs in the first round, having Tyreek go off? I would love that, Luke. I would love it. And the Chiefs are beatable. Every team is beatable in this league if you put together the right game plan and you go out there and play well. And I do feel like if there is a playoff game in Kansas City, that you should probably take the Tyreek Hill receiving over prop bet. It's going to happen if it happens, because Tyreek will really look forward to that matchup going up against his former team. C-Boy Edits, did Waddle deserve to go to the Pro Bowl? # Dolphins. He's one of the alternates, so he'll probably end up there. I was fine with the wide receiver choices. The wide receiver choices were Diggs, Hill, and Devontae, who were clearly the top 3 wide receivers in the AFC, so I don't have a problem with those. Be sure to go down and follow me on Twitter at WillScott44. If you did not get a question on this mailbag, you can ask me a question on Twitter at WillScott44. Also on Instagram at WillieFins.